Good evening, namaste, or adab. Welcome to our Meet the Author series. And today we have with us Colonel Daljeet Singh Cheema, who is a trainer, educator, and a motivator. He had done a lot for the youth of India and is consistently working towards their betterment. So, let me tell you a little more about Sir. Colonel Cheema was a second year student at IIT Kanpur before joining IMA Dehradun and has an illustrious career of 31 years before seeking premature retirement for personal reasons. He is a postgraduate in management and engineering and has been associated with management education for the past 38 years as regular, part time, or guest faculty for MBA programs in armed forces, universities, including Punjab universities, and many other institutions. He was the principal of prestigious Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan's Dayanand College of Communication and Management, Chandigarh, and director, Professional Studies, DAV College, Chandigarh. He was peer member of National Assessment and Accreditation Council for inspection of PG colleges. He has also worked as technical expert for selection of faculty for management subject with Haryana government and authored study material for Punjab Technical University as its subject expert. Colonel Cheema is a prolific writer and he has authored 20 books on management engineering, self help, defense, and many other topics. He has also contributed more than 565 articles in national English dailies and Tehelka magazine. Recognizing his intellectual contribution, he was awarded Punjab Ratan in 2008. He is a professor of management at Shulini University, Solon, and a resource person with National Center of Good Governance, Mussoorie, Mahatma Gandhi State Institute of Public Administration, Punjab, Institute of Correctional Administration, Chandigarh, and many other institutions. So let's meet this young man. Good
Good
evening,
afternoon,
sir.
Shweta. Good afternoon, viewers. Shweta, it is a great pleasure to be on your show. You are a great teacher, great storyteller, and it is absolutely a pleasure to be on your show. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, sir. It's really our pleasure and our honor for us that you are here today, who's been an educator for so many years. You've been a guiding light for so many people, so many youngsters. And today you are here to give some more knowledge to us and share your experiences with us. So thank you so much, sir, for being on
Welcome.
our show and gracing our platform.
Welcome.
So you have been an educator all these years. You have taught so many students, so many, been a faculty of so many colleges, in universities, in institutions. So my basic question starts with this, though we are going to talk about your book a little later, because I want to talk about your journey also as an educator first. So I want to ask you that how can parents and educators help in inculcating skill management in their kids?
Right. Shweta, I feel home is the first school of a child, and
Absolutely.
parents are the first teachers. Now, whatever is the value system and beliefs of the parents, that automatically, as is expected, gets into the child, boy or a girl, as the child grows. Later
True.
on, the child goes to the school, and of course, the impact of the school and operating environment there, and the teachers, and the kind of teaching, and the children with whom he or she plays, all kinds of things will add up to develop the personality of a child. But what is important is that as long as the child is made to understand that there are some basic life skills which are very important for the child to grow and make a mark in his or her life. You see, worry about the marks is important in our system of entrance exams and a very tough fight for few seats for
Right.
uh, coveted colleges and institutions. That is one part. and a lot of damage is being done by the coaching institutes and all kinds of things. That is a different issue. I will not go into that. But what we are now concerned about is that do the parents and the teachers play their role and their part in developing the life skills, or as these are also called green skills in the child?
Right.
See, I am a strong believer. I have a conviction that youth is the best hope for the world and, of course, for India.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely, sir.
India is comparatively a very young nation, just average age of 29 against Japan being 42 and China 39 and things like that. So, this is the most amazing and the best time we are living in, and this is also the time when youth can get anything they want from life.
Right.
These are the best of the times. Now, how they make use of it will depend upon the parents, will depend upon on the teachers, and of course, it will depend upon the child himself or herself. Now, my issue is that the children of today take too much of time to know or find out what they want from life. If it is made simpler and they are left to themselves and they find their own choices rather than any kind of parental or societal pressures, which is there very much and we all know about it, if it is left to them to make reasoned choices, logical, good choices, there are 40,000 professions. Anything you do well, that becomes a profession in today's
Mhm.
world. So I believe that if the child of today, the youngster, they find out what they want to do and then focus on it, along with knowing fully well that the foundation of any success is values. Any success is based on character. Fundamental is character and values, which they must develop. And I think the parents and the teachers play a very vital role in developing that. I don't see, unfortunately, neither the parent nor the teachers doing that to the best of their ability. This is one of the issues, and so the child is, at crossroads after going to say 10th or 10 plus 2 standard. The child really does not know what he or she should be doing, because
Exactly.
we have so much of emphasis on earning a decent livelihood and things like that, that the latent talent in the child gets snubbed somewhere, which I think is one of the issues which should be addressed. And I understand that NEP 2020 to some extent has tried to do that, address that. Unfortunately, NEP 2020 seems to be very ambitious, and a lot of resources are required to do that. So schools are finding it difficult to implement that. So the point is that the green scale, you see, today is 13th of August, 12th August, every year is celebrated as the International Youth Day.
Youth.
And this year, the theme of International Youth Day is developing green skills. Green skills are what? Knowledge, skill, attitudes. These are the green skills. Developing those and the overall sustainable development goals, which UNO, of course, has. So that is what is important, that developing green skills are life skills, which uh, such skills are those which, when the child is faces a challenge, he or she should be able to handle those challenges with confidence. These are the skills, whether it is the confidence building, or it is the communication, or it is various other kinds of skills, empathy, compassion, emotions, etc., handling, emotional agility. All these things are very important, which a child must be taught and made to learn as the child grows. Okay.
Absolutely, sir. And I feel that, even at the early stage when the children have just started going to school, these skills should be developed at that time only. And there has to be a balance and, of course, a coordination between the parents as well as the management so that they can work together towards the betterment of the child, because that coordination is somewhere lacking these days. There is a pressure on the system also. There is a pressure from the parents as well. Some parents make the child so pampered, and they keep them very protective. So somewhere those life skills at the early age are not developed. They are not given the chance. They are not given the I can say the zone, the area, the fulfillment of those life skills is not there, which is very important even at the early stage, when the child even just starts going to school.
Actually, I want to share with you one beautiful experience. Long
Yeah.
time back, of course, it was in some school in Ludhiana. I was invited to speak to the teachers, and I was pleasantly surprised that the students, teachers, and parents, all of them were there, and then I was required to interact with the teacher as well as the student as well as the parents, and
Parents.
all three of them, you see, these are the most important stakeholders. They were at liberty to cross examine, ask questions, throw challenges, all kinds of things were done in about 2 to 3 hours of this thing, and I thought that was the right way of doing the things. I
Yeah,
don't see
absolutely.
schools doing that, inviting parents, calling the children, and the teacher also. Teacher is also being interrogated and asked about what
Yeah.
is being done and how, and the limitations of the system come out in this kind of way.
Right, right.
So that I think
Absolutely.
that is one way of moving ahead.
Absolutely, sir. And as you just said about the time, that by the time children realize that what they have to do in life and what they should be doing, it's already too late for them. So, like, we have ample time, but we use the time in a very limited manner. We do less in that time. So, how can we train ourselves, or how can we guide these young minds to utilize that time effectively?
One, the limitations of time, of course. I want to share with you that I have authored a book on time management in which I have quoted that in 1917, Russia, as a matter of fact, tried to spread the message as a lot of advertisement leaflets were thrown from the helicopters and aircrafts all over Russia to spread the message how important time is and why it must be utilized properly.
Yes,
I'm reminded
absolutely.
of
For sure.
a poem by Rudyard Kipling, that if, a very famous, very well-known poem, very long poem. But the part that is important is that if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, he is advising his son. He says,
Mm-hmm.
if you can fill the unforgiving minute, and if you can fill it with 60 seconds of distance run, you will be a man. And what is more, son, everything under the earth will be yours. The
Right.
importance of utilizing your time to the best of your requirement. Unfortunately, the attitude about time in India is very different. We have that attitude कि इस जन्म में नहीं हुआ तो अगले में हो जाएगा, that kind of approach. There is
Yeah.
plenty of it. You go to Bombay and other metro cities, and there you see people are running around and they have no time. Even if you ask somebody that some direction or something, they look at you that what a fool he or she is. They have no time to spare for you even few seconds. People are
Mm-hmm.
running around, and one example is the time of the metros or the time of the train. In Bombay, it is 1307, 1309. And here in North India, unfortunately, you come a few thousand kilometers from place like Mumbai, come to Punjab or come to Haryana and our own Chandigarh, and you see that timey time. People have so much of free time to waste that they find ways and means to go to people and waste that time. I feel
Right.
that God has blessed us all by giving all of us equal time. Those
Absolutely.
who can do something in that, they move far ahead as compared to others who don't understand the importance of time. Understanding your time and understanding the importance of other time. For example, the seniors, as they grow, they just don't worry about the time of their juniors. They This is also an offense. Now the children, what they have to do is they have many distractions. I understand social media is
Yes.
a very powerful tool. They need to work on it. They must use it. I am not against it. Their Instagram and WhatsApp and everything else, LinkedIn, everything is important for them. But they must allot specific time for this purpose. Say an hour or 2 hours at the most. There are, after all, 24 hours available to you, and every morning, God is trying to give you another 24 hours multiplied by 60 minutes, multiplied by 60 seconds. That much of time
Right.
is put in your account like the money that you get in your bank account every day. Every morning, you get that much of in your account time with one condition, that it has to be spent within 24 hours. It cannot be carried forward.
Right.
Now, good
Absolutely.
people, decent people, logical people, prudent people, what they will do is that they will like to make the best of that available, because it is not going to be carried forward to the next day. We always try to make investments, of money. The
Absolutely.
concept of investment of money is, everyone is aware of that. But the
Yeah.
concept of investment of time and the compounding of time, unfortunately, is not very well known. So
That we keep on ignoring.
absolutely. You have the same time in which people done great things, and everyone has been gifted that much of talent and that much of ability in this great computer, that everyone has the potential to become a champion or do wonders. Yet,
Right.
there are very few people who don't do that. There are very few people who cannot achieve that kind of thing. And the basic reason is that we do not make use of the available time, and we do not make use of the available potential to our fullest. I think the children, the young boys and girls who are the best hope for India, they must learn to make the best use of their time. If they do so, there is no reason that in these amazing times, these wonderful times, which are the best for them, with all kind of internet and AI facilities, everything coming their way, they cannot do wonders. And it is for them to do, make the best of it and do wonders. So, yeah, making the use of your available time to the best of your ability is one of the very important things, that every child must make a timetable of what all activities. I am not saying that no entertainment. Yes, your looking after your physical fitness, looking after your mental fitness, meditation, all things are very important. And at the same time, your studies and your entrance exam and competitive exams, and all those have their own importance. But all that demands is a proper timetable of the 24 hours, knowing fully well that you see, every minute which we lose, it is part of our lives. Now, since the time
Right.
we are talking to each other, 10, 15 minutes, both of us have gone that much closer to death, isn't it? I mean, we are all in a queue for death. That is one way of looking at it. So our lifespan is getting shortened by every minute which we pass. So if we give importance to life, if life is very important, then every minute which we spend, that is also very important.
That's
And this
important.
has to be understood by the young boys and girls.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. Every minute is important, it's precious, and we should make the best of it. We should try to make the best of it. So, sir, you were there in army for 31 years. So, army is all about discipline and time management and a lot of other things, patriotism, nationalism, so many other things are there. But these days we have seen that the younger generations, they are somewhere not that keen to join the Indian armed force or any other forces. So there are so many myths and so many apprehensions which go along with it. So can you just tell us a little more about that so that it can be chosen as a career option as well?
Shweta, let me tell you, the love for your motherland is the perhaps the best love. Love for your mother and motherland.
Yeah.
इश्क करना है तो एक बार अपनी धरती से, अपनी उस माँ से भी करके देखो. So I think it is a great honor to be working in a professional army like ours. Ours is a great army with wonderful, history and distinguished careers and great generals and won wars. Who can forget 1965, our thumping win over Pakistan? Pakistan has forced 4 wars on us. And imagine all 4 wars we have won and given a befitting reply to a country like Pakistan. So I feel that armed forces is a way of life. It is not just a
That's
profession.
absolutely.
You have to
Yes.
have that within you. There used to be an advertisement for joining army. Do you have it in you? Now that is what I am talking about. You have to have that within you, and that is your love for your motherland. You prepared to lay your life, make the supreme sacrifice when the time comes for you to go for the this. So I think there are a lot of people who the army or armed forces over cushy corporate job. I am aware of one case which came in the newspaper, that there was a boy who got selected for IIT and he did not inform his parents because they would have forced him to join IIT. He did
Mhm.
not tell them that he has cleared or cracked the IIT exam, and he kept appearing for the NDA and IMA. And when he was selected, he went for IMA rather than going for the cushy job which he would have got after clearing IIT.
Right,
So
right,
I am one of the example. I have always taken risks in life. I believe if you don't risk anything, you risk everything. I was a second year student of IIT Kanpur, metallurgical engineering. When I left that and went to
and you
IMA
joined
Dehradun,
India.
so I think if you love your motherland and if you have that spirit of adventure and the way the armed forces take care of you, God forbids you have to lay down your life for the country, then the way the country looks after you, the nation looks after you, is something absolutely great. The point is that you see, where can you find a better career option than armed forces? If you want
Right.
to play a game, any sport under the sun, it is available. Adventures, and
Yes.
you are being taken care of during peacetime. You have all the facilities available to you, and you are trained. And today's army, Shweta, is very sophisticated. We
Right.
have
Absolutely.
graduates and our jawans are minimum 10 plus 2 pass today. So there's the educated army, and we are morally professional army also. We take care of those things also. So I think it is a great career, and anybody who's listening to me has any apprehensions and any doubts, you are most welcome to take my phone number from Shweta ji and call me, and I'll convince you that you are missing something if you are not joining the armed forces. Have the courage. You see, you can shrink or expand your life proportionate to the courage you have. The courage to lay down your life for your mother land is something, I think, the greatest courage. And every young man and woman, see, now the ladies are taking part, in a very big way. They are
Yes.
there in NDA, they are there in every field, the fighter pilots, and they are driving tanks, and they are doing everything. So I think every boy and girl who wants to make the best career anywhere in the world must join Indian Armed Forces.
That's wonderful, sir. And I'm sure many will get inspired when they listen to you. And I'll share the phone number as well. Let us,
Okay.
motivate more and more youngsters to join that. And coming
Yeah.
straight from you would be a great motivator for them. So, sir, like we are talking about Indian Army. So, Indian Army is about patriotism. It's about nationalism. But what we have observed, and I personally have also observed the same thing, that we have limited our patriotism to 15th August and 26th January, these 2 days. And after and before that, we forget what we have to do for the nation, what is our responsibility towards the nation. So how can we imbibe such values in the youngsters, in the generation, or in fact even amongst us as well, the adults and everyone who's there as a part of the nation?
Shweta, we are a nation of hero worshippers. We worship heroes, and we tend to glorify our heroes, and such important days. 15th August, we about to have our 76th Independence Day, and 26th January, etc. These are the important days which we celebrate and feel very happy. But
Right.
the nation is about nation building, developing love for your motherland. It is any nation is a work in progress. We are doing
Absolutely.
wonders in the past 76 years. We have done a lot, and I hope on 23rd or 24th, when Chandrayaan 3 lands on moon, we will take pride in saying that we are one of the best in the entire world in science, technology, space, anything. Now, my point is that the you see 21 Paramveer Chakras. Paramveer Chakra is given in the face of enemy, the utmost courage which is shown. I must share with you that I have worked for 8 years with DAV College, Sector 10, Chandigarh, which has 15, martyrs from that college. And when I was there, the principal, Mr. R.C. Jeevan, I and him, both of us, we named the new administrative building which was coming up as Shaurya Bhavan,
Right.
and we have the statues of Vikram Batra and other heroes there in the college. Anybody, any VIP coming to the college first pays floral tributes to those heroes, and only then he or she enters the building. Now, the point I am making is that it is not only those important days that you should remember the heroes. These heroes, 21 Paramveer Chakras, and fortunately, three of them amongst us, Yogender Singh and Bana Singh and others. We should remember them always, every time that we are now talking to each other and people are sitting comfortably in their air conditioned houses and going about doing their work, whatever they want to do in life. It is because there are some people, somebody at minus 40 degree, minus 50-degree temperature in Siachen is holding a gun and is, standing there as a guard. Similarly, in the eastern side, I myself have been in Siachen for some time, and I can share with you that every minute you spend there is a useful, it is very something, out of the world. It can only be experienced. It can't be stated in words. So, if the armed forces are sacrificing so much, and whenever the country is in trouble, whether it is the natural disasters or there are some man-made problems or anything, and wherever the police and civil administration fails, the call is call army. So our
Right.
army is the best in everything, professionally the best, impeccable kind of integrity, loyalty to the nation, and these are the kind of things which you learn when you join armed forces. As a matter of fact, I am fond of stating that every unit of armed forces is a training establishment of national integration. Every unit we have, it is a training school of national integration. So such an armed force, I think there should be no apprehension in the minds of youngsters. They should wholeheartedly come to serve their motherland.
Absolutely, sir. We are because of them. So, and like we, no, it's just a very common kind of an example, or you can say a thing that I have taken up from the routine life, that we celebrate Mother's Day, we celebrate Father's Day, Grandparents' Day. It's not just for one single day that the parents and the grandparents or anyone in our life is playing a role. They are playing a role in our life every day. So same as the soldiers, they are playing such a crucial, such an important role in our life. So we need to give respect to them every day, and not just for these two, book the, the respect for these 2 days. They deserve it every day.
Well said, Shweta. Yes.
So, sir, moving on from you being an educator to an army man and now an author. So, let's talk about your recent book, All One Needs to Know About the Sikh Faith. So, please tell us
I will
something
show
more
the book
about
also here so
it.
that
Please.
everyone will know that the book we are talking about. Thank you.
So
Yes.
here in this book, you have talked about Sikhism, the the teachings of Sikhism, and there are so many other things that you have talked about in this book. And also this is a book that anyone who seeks truth, or who wants to know more about the Sikh faith, has this book in the hand, and they can the travel through the ancient times, when it all started, till the current time where we have reached now. So please tell us more about this book, that how did the idea came to your mind that you have to write about this topic.
Actually, the idea came from my publisher. He was the one who pushed me when he first time asked me to write a book like that. I had such an apprehension because I am not a devout Sikh, though I claim myself to be a good Sikh. A good Sikh is the one, to my mind, who follows the principles of Sikhism given by Guru
Yes.
Nanak. So I told him that I am not a devout Sikh in the conventional sense. So would it be right? And then we realized after discussion that maybe that is precisely the reason that it should come from my pen. I should be writing it. Now,
Yes. Yes.
I have, Shweta, always felt that Guru Nanak, the founder of Sikh religion, has not been understood and interpreted correctly. Thinking about Guru Nanak only as a religious teacher is not being very fair to him, because he was a great reformer and a spiritual leader who, with exceptional kind of sensibilities, great poet, and a human being who only talked about love, compassion, universal brotherhood, oneness of God. That was his only thing. And
Right.
he was a man of scientific temper, logic, argument. See the methods he used to convey his message. All those methods. He was only, trying to get into argument with people and explain to them, this is my point of view. The superstition of those times, and the times which they were, the women were not respected, and the poor man was under pressure, and religion and caste were the, strongest forces. Now, in that kind of thing, in 1500, he established the Sikh faith, the most modern of the religions, and included the best of everything. Now,
Right.
so I feel that the message of oneness of God, universal brotherhood, compassion, love, which the world needs today the most, needs to be spread. And that is why I took on this effort, and a humble effort. I started doing it, and it took me some time. And I am so happy that the book has been appreciated so much by very, celebrated people who have accepted the book, taken the book. And I have been interviewed by people in California, in Canada, and many other places about the book, and everyone seems to be very happy with the outcome. The idea was that, people like me, who maybe are the last link between the people who know something about Sikh faith and the new generation, which is lost in finding out what it is all about. I consider myself a trustee of the Sikh values and culture and whatever little I know. And I think it is my responsibility, and that of everyone who is in this position, to share it with the next generation, so that they become the custodians of that, and they are able to pass it on to the next generation.
To the next
Because
one.
such a
Absolutely.
great culture and heritage founded by Guru Nanak needs to be spread, and spread in the message of goodness, positivity. And you would see that that was the time when Guru Nanak talked about the respect for women, that nobody at that time had thought about that thing. And he talked about merit that time. He did not give the gadi to his sons, he gave it to the more deserving person. So he was talking about and his compassion and love. You think there is a, if you permit me, can I narrate a small incident about Guru
Please,
Nanak's?
please.
You see,
Hanji.
it is said that Balraj Sani, the celebrated actor, he went to Rabindranath Tagore, Gurudev Tagore, and asked him that, since you have written a national anthem, why don't you write an international anthem? And it is believed, it is there on record, that Gurudev Tagore said that, look here, I don't need to do that. a universal anthem of love and compassion has already been written by Nanak in 16th century. Okay, and
Right.
he was so much enamored with that arti which Guru Nanak wrote when he went to Jagannath Puri, and in the temple Lord Krishna's arti was being sung. At that time he wrote that, and it is considered one of the great pieces of poetry which is Guru Nanak wrote. And he, Gurudev Tagore, was so enamored that he translated it into Bangla, and it is available in Bangla also. So
Okay.
Guru Nanak had this approach of, he wanted to change the world for the better. And imagine at that time, 50,000 miles in those kind of conditions of communication. That was the miracle. He never approved of any miracle. He was actually vehemently opposed the miracles, which I have brought about in my book. And his kind of unique personality needs to be shared with the people. And what I have done is, there is a glossary at the end of the book where I have all terms related with Sikhism. If anyone from any religion or anyone else who is doing some kind of research wants to know about a particular word, particular custom, particular way of doing the things in Sikhism, it can be found there in the glossary also. So this is my humble effort, which I thought is required, and I have taken the step to do that.
This is commendable, sir, and I think it is very important for all of us to stay grounded and to, stay to the roots of our religion or our culture and everything which is there around us, so that we don't, change our way and go in some other direction, rather than, the teaching and the principles that have been already founded there in the book, in the by our, the gurus and all the, the religious people. So this is something very important and very a great effort that you have done for the youngsters,
Thank
for
you.
their benefit and for everyone
Thank you.
around.
Thank you, Shweta.
And when we talk about Sikhism, sir, there is, a notion, or we can say that we normally feel that it's a rigidity is attached to Sikhism. But on the other side, when we talk about these people, the Sikh people, they are the only ones, and who are very courageous and who are always there, coming in front to help people whenever there is a natural disaster or a calamity, and they go out of the way to help all the people who are suffering. So, what do you have to say about that?
You see, what happens is, in every religion, over a period of time, there is a system of management. It was there in earlier times also. There is a system of management of the Sikh affairs even today. Now, they have their own way of doing the things, and
Right.
they, out of reverence for our gurus, or because of their own understanding and commitments to religion, or whatever may be the reason, I do dare to say that certain rigidities have been are being enforced, which
Yes,
restricts
absolutely.
the scope of the religion, to the canvas of the religion, to that extent has been contracted. So that is one way. However, I wish to also say this, that a pandemic like COVID and natural disaster anywhere in the world has done more work than the religious institution like SGPC has done to spread the positivity and message of Sikhism. The way in COVID langar was the word which we heard for the first time.
Yeah.
Today, medicine langar and the oxygen langar. You see, langar is a great tradition. As you know, that Sikhism has basic three tenets. One is, of course, Kirt Karna, which Guru Nanak proved to the world. He himself at Kiratpur used to plough the fields, and there he worked. So, dignity of labor, etc., he brought to focus. So, Kirt Karna, Fund Chakna, if there is somebody whose needs are more than yours, then you share what resources you have. And of course, third thing is Naam Japna, you gratitude to that great person who gives everything to you, who gives everything, the bounties which he gives are to us. So all that. So somebody who believes in these three basic tenets, I think is a good Sikh. That is why I tell many of my friends who are devout Sikhs that I maybe perhaps I'm a better Sikh than you. You are, because I strongly believe in those three tenets of Sikhism. So Sikhism is all, it is a way of life. Langar Pratha, which was started by Guru Nanak initially, and later on all the gurus followed it. See the If you see how Guru Nanak said, "Sarbat da pala," goodness, and
Right.
prayed for everyone's good. And to then it shifted to Guru Gobind Singh, who came to that कि देश सेवा वर मोहे है and chun chun satra hamare mario. How did that happen? If you think about that, and if you go through the entire history of the Sikhs, unfortunately, Sikhs make a lot of history, but they don't write history that well. There are Sikhs who have written history, but there are not very many who
Mhm.
while carrying out the research, I came across. So I think if you go from Guru Nanak to Guru Gobind Singh and to Maharaja Ranjit Singh later, you realize what Sikh way of life is all about.
Absolutely, sir. So while you were writing this book, did you experience anything unusual or anything, that moved you during the tenure of writing this book? How much time did it take, sir, to write the book?
You see, my style of writing is that I have three, four, five projects, whatever I want to work on, always on my laptop or desktop, always there. And whenever I
Okay.
get some idea about a particular subject, I start putting it in. So since last 4 5 years, 3 years at least minimum, I had this idea at the back of my mind, and I was looking, researching, reading, writing, and wanting to make kind of notes and all kind of things I was doing.
Right.
Now I took it as a my simran, or my puja, or my part. What I used to do during this period was, all these years, even now I do that. I get up around 5 o'clock, and after bathing and finishing up with the routine, then by 5:30, quarter to 6, with a turban on my head, or covered my head with something, I would sit and start writing this. And as a my prayer kind of thing, that when I was doing, and everything which I wrote, I read and reread. Obviously, any author, anybody will do that again and again and again. Every time I wrote, I thought that I should include this also. Now, this is a small book of 135 pages, 130 pages as a matter of fact, to
Right.
include what is important and what should be left out. That is a very difficult decision for any
Absolutely.
person, because it is so vast and such
Yes.
a huge thing to be included in 130 pages. So I have tried to, there would be shortcomings. There will be, some people would feel that why not this? Why have you left out this? This is very important, or that is very important. All that is fine. But I think more than anything else, while writing this, I realized that humility is the mother of all virtues.
Absolutely.
Humility, anybody who has learned
One.
humility, in our society, unfortunately, humility is undervalued and undermined. People don't attach that much of importance to humility. But when I look at really primarily great people, whether it is Infosys Narayana Murthy, or it is Mr. Ratan Tata, or such greats, then you feel that yes, humility is perhaps the only virtue. Other things will develop and will support you, and you will get everything else. But if you are not humble, all that will go waste. So
Absolutely.
I experience during this has been that I have, maybe, I think it is for others to judge, that I have become a better human being during the course of writing this book. That has been my gain. And I feel anyone who reads the book with humility and with the aim of learning or picking up something from the great gurus, what they have spread, the message of love and oneness of God and humility and all, that is a great service to the society. And the world needs it today. I see when Guru Nanak came on the scene, he has written in Bani that the situation was such, which I now compare, and exactly the operating environment today is exactly the same. It is
Right.
what he wrote about it in 15th century. Maybe there is a need of Guru Nanak coming again to this world and getting us out of this kind of situation.
That's really nice, sir. And maybe you have experienced that you have become a better person, but we know it from, last so many years till the time we know you. We have started knowing you that you are the best and been an ideal person for all of us, the best motivator that we have around. And any one message, sir, I really want you to please share with our youngsters.
My message is that we are all the work in progress. Our best is yet to come. I,
Right.
at this age, feel that my best is yet to come and I must continue working towards. For the youth, I want them to get rid of certain distractions which are causing them very dearly. They must get out of that, focus. And you see, most of the problems of youngsters are related with hurry, worry, and greed. Hurry. You see, they must get down the treadmill. Life is not 100-meter race. Life is a marathon. They must understand that it is not what they do that is important, it's how they do what they do is more important. So, doing whatever you want to do, I always tell the youngsters and students here and there that after all, Dr. Manmohan Singh only did MA economics from Punjab University, and only MA economics, lakhs and crores of people must be doing all around. But he did it so well that it opened all the gates for him in the world. So, whatever you do, do it to the best of your ability. Autograph your work with excellence. That this is the best, do the best. If you love what you do, whatever you are doing, and of course, focus is very important. Distractions must be controlled, and meditation. I think you see the best meditation is that mind at rest and body in action. They must look after their health. They must remain absolutely fit because this is the first private property any youngster owes. Later on, they will have their bikes and cars and everything come later. But first private property any one of us owns is our body. And if we can't take care of our body and keep ourselves physically fit, we won't be emotionally fit. And emotional agility, each one
Right.
of us and youngsters, it is more so, gets about 20,000 to 30,000 ideas, feelings, emotions, etc. during 24 hours. This is natural. Many of them repetitive in nature. Again and again, you get the same
Right.
thing. Now, how do you manage them? That is what is emotional agility about that. And meditation and prayers, whatever you want to call it. Uh, I don't mean that you have to have faith in a particular religion, and learn to be more spiritual than religious. I also believe that laws of nature are more important, and even God has to obey the laws of nature. And youngsters have one tendency, that is to assess their abilities higher than actual. In management,
Right.
we call it Dunning Kruger effect. I warn the youngsters not to assess their abilities higher than actual, but at the same time, they should also think that I am better than I think I am. They
Yes.
are better than what they are, and their better or best is yet to come. So, hard work and fundamentals of any success is always based on good values and character, which will never get outdated. Honesty was the best policy thousands of years ago. It is today
It's
also the
still,
best policy, and it will always remain the best
it
policy.
will always be the same.
So, good values and fundamentals of success are these are the things.
Absolutely, sir. And I think today's session is has given us so many learnings, so many takeaways that we are going to take along, and they are going to stay with us throughout our life and make us a better human being. And having a mentor like you, sir, I think it will be the best thing one can have in the life to shape your future, to change the life that you live. So thank you so much, sir. And I am pretty sure that whoever is going to follow you, follow your experiences, follow your teachings, is going to change the life completely for themselves. Thank
Thank
you
you
so much,
so
sir,
much.
for
Thank
writing
you,
such a
Shweta.
wonderful
My
book.
humble gratitude. I'm grateful to you for having me, and I hope our talk makes a difference to someone somewhere. And that would be the best reward I would get. Thank you so much. Kind of
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you. And thank you to our lovely audience who have joined us today and participated in this session and have written so many comments. And I request you that please, after the show, do revert back to all these comments.
I will do that. I will do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Stay happy, stay blessed, and keep smiling. Thank you so much.